finally time for Genius against Dream. Genius had some issues with the settings, but all has been resolved. Here he is down here at the bottom left for the team. Slayers, no longer an MVP player.
And starting to the top right of the bracket, we currently, not of the bracket of the map obviously, we have the Terran player starting for MVP. It is Dream, one of the players who was able to qualify for this season of Code A through the qualifier. And, well, Dream was mostly playing against Protoss players, actually. He was playing against Lucy, Deer, and Latte. All Casper players, as you can already tell. So he's up against another Protoss player here against Slayers Protoss.
Yep, and their former teammates, Genius used to play on MVP for a really long time, actually. It's even though he's been in Slayers for quite some time now, to see Genius in a Slayers jersey still just feels so strange, considering he's got such a team history with MVP, even though he was kind of like the poster child practically for Nex back in the day. Now he's kind of known as the MVP guy, but still a Slayers player.
And right now Dream and of course also Genius starting with their first few buildings, where we're having a quick look at their statistics in this matchup. Dream against Protoss with only 20 games played so far. He has a 37% win ratio against Protoss in general. The last match that he played against TOS was actually at MLG Spring Championship 2012, where he faced Grubby, and Grubby was able to take the series with a quick 2-0 against the MVP player. And on the other hand, we have Genius, a very accomplished player, and in the matchup against Terran, we have him with roughly a little bit more than 100 games. He has 53% win ratio, and just having a look at the last few matches that he played against Terran, he didn't do too well in his Code S group. He actually lost against Yan and Happy, both of the games with a 2-1, so he really has to step it up a little bit if he wants to take down MVP Dream and advance to the second round of Code.
Yeah, and Dream is known actually as such an aggressive player. He did do that depot block, so Genius was not able to get into the main base, and as a result, Genius does not know that he's taking gas. So this is going to be an uncomfortable position for Genius. We'll see how he wants to respond. Most players in today's metagame are just going for their one gateway nexus anyways, and then getting their robo before the extra gateways when they're a little bit in the dark. They'll go and try to check for that command center on the low ground. No command center on the low ground usually means it's okay to go for that robo, because you're going to be facing a heavy barracks play. And it is going to be, of course, a factory going up in Dream's main base. He's really heavily denying scouting information. Yeah. A Marine on the watchtower as well as one on the side. No probes to get in there and see no commands.
Yeah, exactly. He has both of those entrances blocked with a Marine to make be extra safe, to know that his opponent cannot send in a probe and scout what exactly he's doing. So really well done by Dream so far. And Genius is now walking on the ramp with one of his stalkers, trying to poke a little bit while taking this expansion. And usually if you don't go for a massive all-in, you have to take this expansion, you have to take the risk, you have to go for one barracks into for one gateway into expand, because if your opponent starts his expansion on the high ground and you are not scouting it, then you will be so far behind that catching up is a huge problem for you. But Dream not stopping with the factory, of course. Now he's going straight for his starport.
It looks like he may decide to go for a Hellion drop possibly here.
Yeah.
With Marines, of course, sometimes the Marines come on one side, the Hellions come on the other. Sometimes you drop one, then go back, pick up the rest, and go in again. That's starting to look like that's what his plan is. A little bit less all-in than a siege tank push, for example, but you definitely have to do some kind of damage, or you'll find yourself way behind.
We have, on the other hand, now Genius not only with the double gate, but also with the robotics. So standard player for the Protoss player here decides to get the robotics a little bit later, therefore also with later scouting information, but the opportunity to warp in additional units early on. And that's already pointed out by Wolf. We have Dream now with the Hellions building, the Medivac is already on its way as well. So if this drop play is successful, then he might just be able to take down a huge amount of probes, and therefore, well, cripple Genius economy. That's what he's aiming for at this point.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of lucky for Genius they went for gates before Robo, because normally in a situation like this you might want to go Robo first, but with the faster Robo you don't have as many stalkers out necessarily, which is exactly what you want against a drop like this, because sentries are not going to be too useful. It just depends on if you can get those right force fields off, but they cannot kill the medevac. Killing the medevac is so crucial because then it just ends the attack essentially. Then the Hellions don't have anywhere to run. You pull your probes away and you kill the Hellions and you defend the attack.
Look how well Dream dodges the Zalnaga watchtower. He drives in with a Hellions, wants to go to the natural, and at the same time is dropping into his opponent's main base. 2 Stalkers are ready, but I'm not quite sure if Genius is really prepared for both of these attacks. Here comes the Medivac heading right into the mineral line, being attacked by those 2 Stalkers, but not taken down. Now the Marines start attacking, while the Hellions are actually at the natural doing damage.
Yeah, he kills several probes at the natural. In fact, only a Stalker and a Sentry to attack him. And in total, he's killed 12 workers already.
He killed 12 workers indeed in the main base. The Medivac is still alive. He has 4 Marines left, so this was a fairly good trade for Dream here, taking down 12 Harvesters. At the same time, the worker supply is really even now.
And Genius, though, of course, defending a drop like this is purely worker harass. So Genius is not losing the army here, so he takes the supply lead still. And he's got aggressive timings he can use because Dream really has no army. He's trying to get those siege tanks out desperately because he knows the potential for sentry attacks are there, and he wants to have those tanks out to just damage the Stalkers as well. But, you know, Genius has already got that tick up with Immortals. If he finds out what's going on with the Observer he's got floating around, then he could actually attack and do a lot of damage to Dream.
And a very good point that you just made, the Observer that we have in the main base of Dream. He spotted both expansions, so Dream heading for double expansion after this attack is not a secret to Genius anymore. He knows exactly what's going on here, and we have him now with the first Immortals building. And of course also trying to increase his drone count, his probe count once again. So let's see what kind of timing Genius is going to use here. As you already said, he has the lead in the supply overall.
Yeah, he does, and he knows what's going on, so I'd be a little bit surprised if he doesn't put some sort of pressure on. You know, one thing to think about as well, though, is that the potential for drops still exists. Genius knows this. He's got some defenses set up. Even the Banshee will be easily deterred by the Stalker. But Genius knows, even though he's got 3 command centers, since Genius is so ahead in army, the economy that his opponent has is not going to be too significant. Because he's just like, yeah, he's a great catch on the Medivac there. But he doesn't have to attack here. He's going to, though. He knows, okay, you have, like, nothing at home. He can actually seize, well, those 3 Marines that just popped out with the siege tank. He's like, that's not going to hold my attack, and I have high ground vision here.
Exactly, the high ground vision is the most important point here. He can't just walk towards those tanks and take them down. And look at those Immortals heading straight for the siege tanks, killing both of them. Or won't they? Yes, they take down both siege tanks, and Dream is not only in trouble, he's in a huge amount of it. Those 2 bunkers, yes, they are nearly done, but they're not done just yet. Nice force fields deny the repair, and now those Immortals are doing too much damage to the structures. Dream finds himself in a very, very dire situation.
Yeah, I mean, even if he could repair 2 Marines in a bunker is not the end-all solution. If he traps these units out, he can kill them all out of force of energy, but Command Center will have to live. Genius now can take a 3rd base. He's got enough money to do so. He's continuing probe production right now.
He will kill this 3rd, and he also has the better harvest account already, so there's just no potential for aggression by Dream, and Genius is walking up the ramp.
He's just gonna walk up and kill him.
Yes, he can't take this game. He's killing more and more harvesters. Even if Dream was able to just fend this off, he's just in such a bad spot in regards to his economy that he probably would not be able to recover from it.
Siege tank falls so fast, those Immortals. Yeah, 1 Immortal will die here, and 2 Stalkers will fall as well. But it just does not matter when Genius is nearly tripling the supply. He's got a bunker up at the top of the ramp. He's desperately trying to finish. And as soon as it does, Genius will just kill a reactor and leave because he doesn't have to do anything else. In fact, he's gonna, if he wants to, he could attack that barracks from the low ground and force it to lift. But he just goes home, warps in more units, starts Twilight Council.
He can set up a contain here. Dream is now at a harvester count down to 19 against 52. Twilight Council starting, additional gates, and once again, Genius walking up the ramp. He wants to finish it now, and he goes straight for the bunker. Force field prevents repair. The bunker is dead, and so is the siege tank. Boom, and there are the hopes of Dream.
Yeah, the hopes and dreams, no pun intended, gone here in game number 1. He's kiting SCVs, a few Marines, just not able to do enough damage against this many Protoss Stalkers. And then the Dark Dragoons are going to fail this reactor nest we're trying to build. GG. Pretty straightforward defense by Genius and a great counterattack timing. Just if Dream had tried to get the siege tanks out and hold with more Marines and not take the faster 3rd command center, maybe he holds there. Maybe Genius can do some damage and then they're both even, but with the faster 3rd command center and with the Observer that Genius had, he knew everything. It wasn't like a Matrix, it wasn't rocket science. He was like, you had 3 Marines and a siege tank on the high ground. I have 2 Immortals and a huge amount of Stalkers. I will just kill you now.
And so he did, 1-0 in favor of Genius. And I can tell you one thing, at the end of this game, if Genius actually would have some mules available, he would have called them down in his opponent's base. He knew how far ahead he was, and so did Dream. But of course, the Terran player did not want to leave just yet.
Imagine if you could chrono boost your opponent's production. Like, he like starts making Marines faster. He's like, I'll make your Marines faster, but it doesn't matter.
So that I can kill them faster. I can want to kill more of them.
I just want you to spend all your money.
There's a go by Genius as we are in the lobby and we are heading into map number 2 in just a few seconds. This is of course the last, well, this in best of 3 is the last Terran versus Protoss, our last match in this early session, in this early group, and later on we will start at 6 PM Korean Standard Time. Right now we have Abyssal sitting loading between Genius